Wow. Hey, you want to slow it up?
Yeah. I'm having a little problem here.
Barry, we've gone like...
There are games that, for better or worse, define a franchise for years to come. It's coming up from the Target Center. The Sonics and the Timberwolves. Game 4 is next. Welcome back to the Target Center, everyone. Game 4 of this Western Conference Series about to go down. Let's take a look at tonight's Gatorade starting lineups. No real surprises. Baker, Shrimp, Percy, Payton, and Hawkins for the Sonics. Garnett, Mitchell, Porter, Peeler, and Stephon Marbury. Mike Gorman along with Jack Gibbons. Glad you can join us. The Sonics are sometimes at their best when their backs are to the wall. They're flat up against that wall right now, Jack.
Yeah, they are. I'm really surprised at the way Seattle's fallen apart down the stretch in the last 2 ball games. You wonder which team is the favorite in this series. Seattle thinks most of their problems come with the fact they haven't shot the three-point ball very well in this series. I think it's going to have to change for Seattle on the defensive end of the floor if they're going to win this thing tonight. They have to get tougher. They have to get meaner. They have to get more aggressive defensively if they're going to pull this thing out.
Well, you saw that shot of Gary Payton. As we look at the officials for tonight's game, Billy Oakes, Eddie F. Rush, and Joe DeRosa. The glove certainly looks like he is ready to go. The Sonics have not lost 3 straight games all season. That may turn out to be the biggest stat of the night. Marbury up aggressively on Payton. First trip up the floor. Let's see if Payton tries to take it. Backs him down. They clear it out. The double comes from Mitchell. Hawkins, who has been cold, starts the game hard.
Well, that's definitely a big start there. They think if they can make the three-point shot, they have a great chance of winning this ball game. Now, what Seattle has done in all 3 ball games, they've come out in the first 5 minutes, tried to deliver the message that they are for business. We'll see if that's the same way here tonight.
Garnett looking for a shot early, got stripped, and Shrimp comes up with the loose ball. Peeler's got Payton this time. Jerome Kersey, the veteran who has played so well for George Karl in the series. Shrimp looking for a shot, pulls up. And the Sonics are 2 for 2 to open the game, and immediately, as they did the other night, Jack, take the crowd out.
Well, they take the crowd out, but what has happened, it has appeared that in the second period, as well as the fourth period, Seattle has fatigued. We'll see if that happens again here tonight, but they have definitely looked old at times.
Anthony Peeler misses the straight-on 3, and Kersey is there all over the glass, rebounding. Also a big key for the Seattle club. They are the worst rebounding team in the league. Hard to imagine having won 61 games, but that's the case. And there's an offensive board for Baker. Has it knocked away. Shrimp in the lane. And it's tipped out of bounds by Marbury.
The real important thing for Minnesota here, they have relied pretty much on their defense and their quickness to get them back in the game after they have fallen behind. So I think they need to make sure they don't get down on themselves if they do fall down early.
Payton comes up with the jumper off to the side, and again it was Baker there with an offensive rebound, but he just couldn't control it.
Even at that, the key to getting those rebounds for Seattle is that gives them an opportunity to get back on defense. Even if they don't come up with the board, Minnesota can't get out on the break and use their quickness.
Peeler finds Marbury down on the baseline, kicks it out to Mitchell. Mitchell tries and front rims a 3. Loose ball so far goes to Seattle. Percy. Nice look inside, and Hawkins gets 2, and it's 7-0 Sonics to open the game.
And you see a more aggressive Sonics team on defense, and that, of course, creates opportunities for them in the transition.
And very quickly, Flip Saunders is going to take a timeout. George Karl with the start he was looking for. They're pitching a shutout.
Glenn Taylor is the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kiddingly, you referred to yourself moments ago as an old dog, whatever. You rescued this franchise a few years ago, threatening to move to New Orleans. What do you think now about your move in light of what's been happening here lately?
Well, I'm very pleased with it. I wanted this to be a team that all of us in Minnesota would be very proud of, and certainly we are.
With the way things are going, you could run for governor. Any chance of that?
Not now. I was in politics before, and I'm out now.
Now let's get back to the politically correct Jack and Mike.
Mark may be running for governor here in Minnesota if he gets any more popular around this place. Hi, what do you think went on in that Minnesota timeout, Jim?
Well, I think that kind of timeout is simply a timeout for a chance for Flip to grab his guys and say, look, just calm down. You know they're going to try to come at us early. We are all right. We just need to get a shot up at the basket. Just don't get rattled. He has to play politician himself right there and not jump on his guys too hard.
First offensive rebound goes to Marbury, and he buries the turnaround jump shot. And nearly 3 minutes into the game, the Wolves are finally on the board.
And that's a good timeout when you call one and you come out and you get a basket for your team, even though that was on the offensive glass. Flip will take that one.
Now, if you haven't been with us for each game of this series, Seattle has had leads. They're up 12 in the first quarter the other night, and Marbury comes up with a steal on Kersey, and then Marbury lost it out of bounds, according to Joe DeRosa.
I know what Stefan is talking about. He's saying, hey, watch me get pushed here. You'll watch this rebound. And then Jerome Kersey's going to give him just a little bit of knock right there, enough to get him off balance. And he stepped out of bounds there. Break for the Sonics.
Schrempf sets a little screen for Payton. Payton into the lane. A finger roll goes down.
The half-court execution is another area where Seattle has not been as good as they had been over the course of the season. Of course, if you're not making shots, it's going to be hard to look good in a half-court game.
Seattle extending their defense a little more than they had in games past. A terrific pass by Peeler, and Mitchell just couldn't handle it cleanly.
You can understand Minnesota being just a little bit down right now. They're trying to contain their energy. They came out so hyped in Game 3 here.
Percy Hawkins only had 9 points in Game 3. He already has 8 tonight. And he's hit a couple of threes. He was hitting 18% in the playoffs from behind the line. Nice cut. And a basket for Porter.
Nice look by Peeler there. One thing with this smaller lineup, everyone on the floor for Minnesota, very good at passing the basketball. So running your routes, getting the quick cuts to the basket will be very important.
And very, very tough for the T-Wolves to do what they want to do when they're taking the ball out of the net.
Yeah, and you know what? They're still very much going to take Ben Baker out of the game.
Hawkins the dish. Baker stripped. Garnett the quick hands.
They'll have to put 1 second back on the clock. It expired, but I think the ball was out of bounds beforehand, so they're going to get 1 second.
Kersey the catch. Long with it, didn't catch any iron. It'll come back to the Wolves. Down 8, 7:37 to go here in the first. George Karl, we talked about it a little bit in the pregame, and George, despite a remarkable record at Seattle, his job might be on the line here tonight.
Well, he was funny when we talked this morning. He said, yeah, it's been fun being George Karl the last 48 hours. Yeah, you would like to have some of the stress I've been under, popping pills, trying to keep myself under control. He was funny talking about it, but I think he was exactly right on.
Second time tonight, Garnett has been stripped in the lane. Schrempf on the break. Loses the dribble, has to kick it back. Payton fakes the 3, takes the 2.
That's real nice offense, even though it doesn't go. You see the shots right now for Seattle. Real good mix of inside-outside.
Jerome Kersey is going to pick up that foul.
But you see right here, as Gary Payton gets the ball into the painted area, it does not go. Jerome Kersey picks up the foul going for the rebound, but still, I think Seattle getting the kind of offense they want.
Kevin Garnett moving some people around in there. Stefan. Oh, offensive fouls called by Billy Oakes, and Flip Saunders can't believe it.
Hard to see it from this angle. But Marbury must have cleared out with that off arm as Jerome Kersey comes over. Yeah, there it is right there. You saw it. Good call.
Back line, Schrempf's hook shot won't go down. Sonics unable to control the offensive glass, and it'll come back to Minnesota. Despite those 5 turnovers, just down by 8 here at 12-4.
Minnesota led the league this year in fewest turnovers per game. So coming out with 5 this early, a little bit surprising.
Porter looks inside. They find Garnett. Wants to work on Baker. Spins. Garnett got it.
Real nice. You know, that's just a big-time move right there. I think one thing about Garnett and Marbury as well, they don't turn the ball over that much because they don't try to do things out of character. Simple basketball, turn and shoot.
Shrimp buries it. Second basket for Detlef, who very quietly has averaged 16 points and 9 rebounds in this series. 8-point Sonic lead. We're just about halfway through the first.
I'll tell you one thing, if Payton's going to be able to penetrate the paint all night, there'll be open shots all night for his teammates.
Mitchell, Marbury will try. Stephon Wild with the three. Baker was looking to hit Payton at half court and couldn't. He'll bring it up himself. Kersey, kind of a half hook, goes down.
Surprising play of Jerome Kersey, inserted into the starting lineup the last regular season game of the year. The reason he's in there, Seattle needs more toughness. They need a guy that can set screens, and that is Jerome Kersey's game.
Kevin Garnett off the feed from Terry Porter.
Garnett's first shot in game 3 was about 4 feet long.
Payton front rims that one, and Marbury beats him to the loose ball. Marbury up the sidelines to Porter. Porter for 3. In and out. Garnett tips it. Marbury controls it. Stephon, the floater, no. And Baker's there.
This pace has to be what Seattle wants, though, in this game, and you see why. It has to be exactly what Seattle wants because you see the shots going up quickly, and Seattle is a transition team. Now, I know they talk all they want about the three-point line, but they are at their best when the defense is off balance.
There's Marbury picked up outside by Hawkins. Little skip pass. 2 on the shot clock. Stephon gets it to Porter, lets it go just in time, and banks it home.
And I know he's going to tell me after the game he called that. I know he's going to say that, but I'm going to challenge him on that one. Big time 3, though.
Boy, remember that one later on when this one tightens up. Payton into the paint, kicks it. Hawkins has been hot. Still is.
I tell you, you just cannot allow Gary Payton to get to the paint. This reminds me so much of game 1 when Payton really dominated as far as running the offense is concerned.
Hawkins 3 of 4 shooting the 3 here and picks up that reaching foul right there.
You'll see Porter right here. Now there's 1 second on the shot clock when he catches it. It goes off in the air, but he banks that one down. So you never know what little thing it's going to take to get your team rolling. It might be that banker from way beyond the three-point line.
Payton defensively out on field. A little screen from Garnett. Baker jumps out. Minnesota uncharacteristically turns it over again.
Now you see what George Karl has done now. Now he understands the three-point shots called. So he comes in with Dell Ellis, another three-point shooter. And all that means here is Payton's going to continue to try to break down the defense and kick it out. And that three-point line was there for them tonight.
12-point Sonic lead here with 3:24 to go in the first. And Flip Saunders continues to work the officials.
I think what Flip wants right now is to get his team through this period without getting hurt too badly. Really, there's a timeout coming, but he wants to make sure he's not hurting all that bad when this period's over.
We have only had 2 fouls called in the game. Porter in and out, and the rebound to Hawkins, nearly stripped by Garnett, but here comes Payton.
Now look what happens now when Gary Payton gets it in the open floor.
Oh, big time tip underneath by Baker.
You see these outside shots, they're coming, and that is exactly what Seattle needs. They need the long shots, they need the long rebounds, and they need to fill the lane. They get that right now.
We've got a timeout, 2:51 left to go here in the first.
About that, I mean, we just got to come out, get the crowd out of it, and just play hard.
Well, it's confidence, and when you say something like that and you look at what's happening and you realize that everything is coming to fruition here because this crowd is not a factor right now, and they were such a big factor in Game 3 here in this building, and this game is looking more and more like Game 1.
Percy Hawkins a factor in this series, and so is Mark Zumoff. Mark.
I guess so. Flip Saunders hoping his team could be more of a factor. He said he told you guys earlier today. They're going to run. You're not getting back defensively. Too many easy baskets. And he says defensively, you're letting them bump you first.
Porter swings it. Peeler is open. He'll take it deep and bury a three. And that snaps a 7-0 Seattle run.
Now, one thing that has worked really in Flip's favor is the spacing of his team, and you got a good look at it that time. How far Seattle has to come after the double team down low.
Michael Williams into the game defensively on Payton. What a game Hawks having.
My, he is seeing the basket tonight.
16 of the 28 belong to Hersey Hawkins. Anthony Peeler trying to answer, and Hawkins,
He's doing it all.
he is now, goes up there and grabs that rebound.
He's been taking a lot of hits here because he hasn't shot it well, and he really hasn't gotten a whole lot else done. But he is aggressive here today.
And Tom Hammond's unable to control that rebound, and that little sequence right there kind of sums up what's been happening to the Wolves here tonight.
Well, you see Hersey Hawkins putting the ball on the floor and drive to the basket. You know this game means a lot to him. And here's another three-point shooter on the floor right now, Sam Perkins.
Schrempf into the paint, kicks it. Perkins gets the feet set. No, rebound to Porter. Looking ahead, gets it to Peeler. Peeler the catch and two.
Nice job looking up the floor. Anthony Peeler has been kind of an unsung hero here. He's played big-time basketball.
There's Hawkins laying it down. Perkins the catch and traveled in the lane. George Karl going to his bench, and the result's not good so far. Perkins, Hawkins, Ellis, Payton, and Schrempf are on the floor for Seattle. It is Garnett, Hammonds, Peeler, Williams, and Porter right now for the Timberwolves.
You would like to have Perkins go up and down the floor a couple times before that first shot comes, but had to shoot it quickly, and it came up short.
Garnett, the half hook too hard, and Schrempf is there.
Tough right now for Minnesota to see the basket clearly. I think on that double team, Garnett might have taken that one a little quickly, but he makes those shots usually.
Sonics starting to miss a little bit here in the final minute, but they are still up a dozen at 28-16. Williams throws up a tough shot and banks it home.
Well, he was hoping to get the whistle there. It did not come, but he'll take the 2 points and go back the other way.
Sonics could go for a little 2-for-1 here if they take a quick shot. Payton into the paint, stripped from behind by Garnett. Loose ball. Here comes Porter. Schrempf is back. Porter coast to coast. No with the left hand. Hawkins another big rebound. Payton the other way. Kicks it. Ellis.
That's usually good. Nope, short there. And that's Payton with the foul. Boy, the guys coming off the bench continue to struggle shooting the basketball. You're talking about guys who shot it so well over the course of the year. Sam Perkins, normally good when he gets his feet set. Dell Ellis in the fringe on the wing that time. You can also tell with Dell Ellis he's not really extending on his shot. He had that pulled muscle late in the season, and it is still not 100%.
And you're up 10. Didn't you want the last shot?
Well, you would think so, but one thing you have to understand is when you have your offense working, you have to take that shot, and it really hurts though, Mike. I mean, that really is the worst thing could have happened for Seattle.
Michael Williams buries a three. Anthony gets it ahead. Ellis doesn't get it off. And a big quarter for the Hawks, but a 10-3 Minnesota run to close it out. And they are back in this one as we head for the second 12 here at the target. It's 28-21, Seattle.
Has gotten off to a great start in this ballgame. 16 points for the Hawks, really spotting up, shooting the basket well from beyond the three-point line. Also 3 rebounds. And another thing you can add to his total here tonight, a technical foul.
He got that technical foul headed for the sidelines. Michael Williams missed the tee, so no damage done on the scoreboard. We're about to begin the second. It's 28-21 Sonics. And that technical free throw that was missed by Michael Williams was the first free throw attempt of the evening, Jack.
It's been a transition game. Both teams getting up and down the floor. As I mentioned a little while ago, the second period, late in the period of the second and fourth periods have been difficult for Seattle because of their age.
Inside, Hammond's too hard off the back rim, and the rebound comes right to Sam Perkins.
You make a good call. that shot by Dell Ellis. If he holds up, they have the ball and they don't get burned from behind the three-point line. That shot quickly, it hurt him.
Perkins trying to back his way in. They got Williams coming from the outside. Yes, they do with the foul.
One thing for sure with this unit on the floor now, Seattle, they are really going to get hurt in the transition game if they don't continue to shoot the ball well. Because Minnesota's going to get the rebound, and they're going to push it because of their quickness.
It's Payton, McMillan, Ellis, Perkins, and Anthony on the floor right now. Payton trying to post up Williams, skips it to Anthony. Quick hands by Garnett. Boy, he really has a fast set there.
Well, you know one thing, he's 6'11", but his arms are so long. He's like playing against a guy 7'3", 7'4". That wingspan is tremendous.
Anthony trying to work on Marbury. Hammonds comes on the double inside to Perkins. And the foul will be called over the back on Garnett.
And not a bad foul at all, because Perkins going to lay that one in, so Garnett gives up a foul.
Anthony wants to get it back in Payton's hands. Now he gets it back, looks inside to Perkins. Perkins going to work on Hammonds. The double comes down from Williams.
A great rotation away from the ball, Minnesota.
Perkins kicks it out to Ellis, down to 7 on the shot clock. McMillan go back inside. Perkins, the hook, no, rebound Hammonds. Marbury spins into the forecourt.
Tempo of the game has changed, and it is Minnesota's now.
Stripped away from Stefan, but out of bounds off one of the Sonics. And Flip Saunders gets the call play right in front of his bench.
Well, you see what's happening here for Minnesota. They have slowed things down a lot. I think their shots are more measured now. They seem to be thinking more about shot selection, not throwing it up quickly. And it's taken away the transition game for Seattle.
Payton to the bench and Baker in. Here's Marbury outside, picked up by Anthony. Hammonds comes, sets the screen. Stefan to the basket, trying to lay it down. There was nobody home, and it's picked off by Anthony.
A little over penetration there, maybe one pass too many.
7 turnovers on the T-Wolves. Baker, who said he would be aggressive tonight, has been every time he's touched the ball.
You know, really, there's no reason for Vin Baker not to be aggressive. I mean, I think if you look at the double teams by Minnesota and how they're coming down with much smaller players. Sometimes Stephon Marbury, now Michael Williams double team. So Vin should be aggressive stepping to the middle of the lane.
Misses the free throw. He has struggled all year long. Don't forget, later on tonight on TNT, it's Portland hosting LA. Game 4 of that series. 10:30 Eastern on our sister station. And then tomorrow night on TNT, the Hawks and the Hornets, followed by Utah at Charles & Company. And the Rockets exploded. The Jazz is back.
Well, that series is not over. I would be surprised if you don't see Utah come in there and really lay everything down to try to win that game.
Williams again looking to bank on home, but fouled on the move. Jack, we are a week into the playoffs, and I don't know of anyone who would have said a week ago that the number 1 and number 2 seeds in the West would have to win on the road just to survive. We'll be back.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta earlier tonight here on TBS. Indiana advanced to the Eastern Conference semis in 4 games, beating Cleveland 80-74. For Mike Fratello's young Cavaliers, a learning experience.
We stepped into that playoff pool, got a taste of it and a feel for it. And now we have to come back, and first thing you have to do is you have to qualify again next year. You got to get yourself back into it to have another chance again.
The Pacers get the winner of the Knicks and Heat. They're playing right now on TNT, 76-68 with about 9 minutes to play. Back to Mike and Goose and the old school dog.
Okay, Ernie. Thanks very much. Williams, Peeler, Marbury, Hammonds, and Garnett on the floor for the Wolves. Garnett, nothing doing baseline. Peeler, the 3. Got it.
Just that quickly. The tempo has changed. The pace of this game is right back where Minnesota wants it, and once again, Seattle not able to hold on to that killer punch they were trying to deliver.
Inside, the Sonics go to Baker. He kicks it back. Anthony will take a 3 himself. That had no shot. Marbury. Garnett. Garnett's going to take it and make it.
Well, they're cooking right now. And the timeout might have to come from George Karl, because this has happened too often before. Too many times Minnesota gets on a run, and Seattle has no answer.
29-26. McMillan. And a foul is going to be called by Billy Oaks. Michael Williams, I think. Yep.
Now, another thing that's interesting as we think back over the previous two games and then tonight, the runs for Minnesota, as you watch this battle down low, has come as soon as Gary Payton leaves the game, and he's on the bench right now.
Millen trying to go inside the Baker camp. They have to swing it the other way. Now they come back to Baker's side.
Hammond's really banging it.
Baker,
Nice. Real nice, Ben Baker. That's the kind of aggressiveness he has to play with on that low post. They need big numbers from him.
Sonics by 5. We've got 8:25 left to go here in the first half. Peeler.
Not a lot of rest for Gary Payton and Hersey Hawkins. They're right back up.
It's Perkins inside this time. He sends it out to Ellis. Ellis the catch and shot. Baker an offensive rebound, and that's a travel.
Well, you still can't feel bad for Ben Baker, because that's the way he has to play, and he knows that. So you can't feel bad. He understood he had a smaller player on him that time. He wanted to try to take advantage of it. Got a little bit anxious, but that's still aggressive play.
Payton and Hawkins back in with Perkins, Baker, and Anthony stays on the floor. Peeler brings it across against the Payton pressure. Mitchell is out there with Williams, Hammonds, and Marbury.
Anthony is going to be called on to keep Marbury out of the painted area.
Sam Mitchell to the basket, and he couldn't get it to go. Seattle winning the battle of the boards tonight, 14-8.
One other thing that's developing into a pretty good little matchup is Peeler when he is matched up against Payton at that second guard spot.
Perkins and the three wouldn't stay. Getting good looks, Jack.
You know, but the thing is, if those shots are not going, you have to now ask yourself, okay, so what is Sam Perkins going to be able to give me if he's not knocking down shots? So you might have to get him out of the game.
Mitchell off the feed from Marbury.
Because he's given up quickness in the matchup regardless of who he's matched up against when Minnesota goes to the small lineup, and that's all they have.
Baker sets the screen for Payton. They go to Hawkins. Inside Perkins. 5 on the shot clock.
Oh, look at that rotation.
Baker. I don't know about, well, that was close. Is that a 24-second violation?
I think the whistle sounded first.
It was real close.
Yeah, it was very close, though. And that's an unfortunate break for Minnesota. But once again, you might not be aware of the clock running down, and you want to stop a basket.
We'll get a timeout. 6:45 left to go here first half. The young Wolves are within 3.
Stephon Marbury has done a tremendous job of breaking down the Sonic defense, whether it's, in this case, game 3. He does it a couple of times, gets to the paint, finds shots for other people. He's also done it tonight. And that has been the thing that has enabled Minnesota to go up 2-1. This young guy's ability to accept the challenge, desire to accept the challenge, and then penetrate and not turn the ball over. A very good combination when you talk about a young point guard.
And the reason this building is so loud at this moment is that Stephon Marbury has been orchestrating the crowd during Vin Baker's free throw attempts, and he missed them both.
Well, that was one of the big questions coming into the playoffs for Seattle. In close ball games, can we go to our money man in the paint, Vin Baker, and can he deliver from the free throw line if he gets fouled?
Marbury gives it up to Mitchell, down to 8 on the shot clock. They get it to Williams.
Well, that's great defense.
Williams lays it down. Hammonds for 2.
But those guys keep their dribbles alive, and they are so much quicker, Minnesota.
And they're fearless with the shot clock running down.
Well, you know what? You use quickness, and you're able to keep the dribble alive, then things are going to happen.
The Sonics' 12-point lead has disappeared. Baker. Rebound Mitchell. The Wolves can take their first lead of the night, and if they do, this place will go nuts.
much.
They get it to Anthony on the break. Anthony for two.
Now that should have been a block. The contact occurred right under the basket, but Hospital didn't no call. The basket went down.
A touch of breathing room back for the Sonics. They're up 3. Kersey's going to come back in a moment. Boy, Michael Williams is just taking the ball to the basket, isn't he?
He has really been amazing. What a story it is with Michael Williams. He was booed his first game here in Minnesota because after missing a lot of time, everyone here wanted him to retire so they could use his salary, part of his salary, to go out and get another player. Michael Williams refused to do that. So when he finally got healthy and came back to play, they booed him. And here he has been a superstar in this playoff series.
Kevin Garnett coming back in. Williams has got 6 points at the line.
You know, you can talk all you want about offense, and he has been very effective. But I just like what he's done on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, you're talking about a gutsy little player. You go back to his days in Indiana, and he was known, always one of the top steals guys in the league. He's able to stop people defensively.
Shrimp has his pass picked off.
And there he is again, coming up with the big play.
Williams, the bounce pass, corner.
The only way that pass gets through is if it's on the floor.
With 5 minutes to go here in the first half, the Wolves have got their first lead.
Please rise for... There's something inside you that's hungry for Taco Bell. Want some? And buy AT&T. It's all within your reach.
Well, they may blow the roof off some of those buildings if this continues going the way it is. Look at Michael Williams.
Yeah, he's playing great basketball. Guy played in only 10 games over the last 3 years. Was activated the 22nd of December and has been a factor here in the playoffs.
Hawkins, who has been the offense for the Sonics so far here tonight.
And there's an offensive foul, goes the other way against Vin Baker, the forearm to the face of Kevin Garnett. Boy, do you think Seattle's thinking about this right now?
Never easy is an understatement for the Sonics in the first round. This would be a shocker to rank right up there with the Denver Wolves.
Yeah, you're right. You know, you talk about Denver, the Denver series, but you see on your screen, they could go back to a lot of series where they've had to struggle in the first round.
First time tonight, Minnesota has had the ball and the lead.
Well, this possession is going to be really key. It'll be interesting to see where the shot comes from.
Out of bounds, they will have 2 seconds to get a shot off here. Check in quickly with Mark Zuma.
Mike George Karl telling his team, guys, it's a long game. Don't get frustrated. And a quicker swinging of the ball offensively.
Payton able to control that miss.
Well, the second period and the fourth period continue to be big problems for Seattle, and it happens every time George Karl goes to his bench.
Shrimp has to kick it back out. Kersey. Oh, Jerome.
I mean, during the course of the year, George Karl relies heavily on his bench. Dale Ellis, Sam Perkins, and company, but they just simply have not been able to be consistent in the playoffs.
There's been a struggle offensively. Here's Garnett with some room in the lane, a little floater.
And I understand Jerome Kersey's thinking, I'm going to have to go for this block, but I don't know why he did. Because there's no way with those long arms he's going to be able to get up there and knock that one away.
Let's take a look at Garnett.
I mean, watch how high he's up, but then watch his arms. See how he just extends with those long arms? I mean, you're not going to block that shot.
Garnett picks up the foul on the other end, and that is his second.
They'll continue to get on Vin Baker's case until he knocks down 2 straight.
At the conclusion of the first half, join host Ernie Johnson and Kenny Smith and Derek Harper for the Nike halftime report. They'll catch you up on all the playoff action from tonight. The Knicks game, of course, that Pacers-Cavs game. It's all coming up at the half on the Nike halftime report. The Knicks showing some life tonight. Vin Baker okay from the field, but 1 for 6 from the free throw line.
Well, that's going to be a factor down the stretch if this game is close. Because you know Minnesota's going to put him there, and you know Seattle's not going to want him there, the way he's shooting.
Here's Porter. Takes it into the paint. Porter throws it up. Doesn't get the bounce off the glass. Schrempf is there. Advances it to Payton. Stolen by Peeler. Stolen back by Kersey. And he gets the lift.
Real nice job there. Running the defense down the floor. Jerome Kersey has been a pleasant surprise for Seattle in that starting lineup.
Marbury trying to leave it for Hammonds. And then Hawkins, a great play to step in. Then Peeler steals it back.
Well, that hit Van right in the hands. That might be those missed free throws wearing on his mind right now.
Marbury, nice hesitation move with the dribble. Hammonds stuffed, but a foul called on Baker. And Schrempf and Hammonds are having words.
That might be a technical foul coming on Hammonds. He really, really laid into deadlift that time. We'll see what happens right here. Watch this little fake. Gets Hersey Hawkins off balance. Vin Baker's going to pick up the foul on what appears to be a real good block. But you'll see the action on the other side. And Hammonds just laid right into deadlift, so he gets the technical. Have to remain cool and calm in a situation like this. Once again, you have the momentum in your favor. You don't want to do anything to get the other team, which in this case is Seattle, fired up.
Hawkins with 16 first half points. Make it 17. We have seen that placid look on George Karl's face.
Yeah, sometimes he gets over there, and I think the way his team has played at times in this series just left him bewildered. I mean, he doesn't have an answer because he knows what he needs from his guys has to come from inside his guys. There's nothing he can say or do that's going to get a veteran team fired up. They should know better, and that's the problem he's faced. I mean, I think with young guys, you can get in the locker room, and if you're Flip Saunders, you can be the cheerleader and you can be the rah-rah guy, and the young guys are going to respond. But the veterans who have been there before, coaches like George Karl say, guys, I shouldn't have to pump you guys up. You've been here. You know what it takes to win. And he's not getting it from his guys.
We're tied at 38. Schrempf into the paint. Has to kick it back out. Hawkins misses one outside. Payton, though, with the offensive rebound. Gets it back. He'll take it. Short. Baker, an offensive rebound.
And I just wonder if Vin Baker missing free throws is a factor, because normally Vin would have gotten that rebound, turned and challenged the basket. But he's 1 for 6. He turned around, threw it out. They got 2 points, so you can't feel bad about that.
Detlef Schrempf converting a nice feed from Payton. 2-point Sonic lead. We approach 2 minutes to go here first half. Porter wants to take Kersey off the dribble.
Now, these two guys spent a lot of days together in Portland. They know each other very well.
Porter down the lane, loses the handle, and a 24-second violation. Porter claiming he got hit. And Billy Oakes says no deal.
And Jerome Kersey's going to tell him when he gets down the other end, come on, man. I know you. I know when I get you, and you know when I get you. And I didn't get you that time.
10 turnovers for the T-Wolves here in the first half, but they are within 2. Payton.
Now, the one good thing for Seattle here is they have stayed tough down the stretch in this second period. It's always been a tough period for them in the playoffs here, in this particular series, but they maintain a lead.
Gary Payton just 4 points in the game, is averaging 26 a game in this series, but his club has a 4-point lead now. Kersey nearly just picked Mitchell's pocket.
Tell you what, I like having Payton getting shots for other people than relying on his own offense.
Oh, big three out of Anthony Peeler.
And he was challenged.
Payton, though, right back for 2.
He was challenged by Payton in the corner. Peeler nailed it. But the quick inbound pass gets Payton 2 on the other end.
Sonics have come alive a bit offensively here in the last 3 or 4 possessions. Porter gets by Kersey. Porter all the way.
Now, Ben Baker's in foul trouble. Smart play. He can't go for it because he can't pick up another foul.
Payton the spin. Peeler stays with him defensively. Payton wants to take him. Goes baseline. Payton for
real nice. I mean, Peeler's trying his best to keep him away from the basket, but might not have quite enough quickness. Cherokee Parks, for the first time in the playoffs, is Morris off the bench. May not get in.
I was just going to say, he may not make it.
He may not make it. And if he does, he's going to get 15 seconds.
Seattle has hit 6 of their last 8 field goals. Peeler long with that 3. Rebound taken by Baker. And let's see if the Sonics this time will hold for the final shot. They didn't at the end of the first quarter.
And it cost them. It really did, because they gave up a 3-point shot in transition. Cherokee Parks may as well go on back to the bench.
Payton trying to back his way down. Payton loops it inside. And Billy Oakes with the call with 4 seconds on the game clock. Here comes Cherokee Parks trying to make his first appearance.
And the thing is, Flip Saunders knows he's going to need this guy at some point, particularly should he advance. And believe it or not, they were talking in the paper today about advancing and playing against the Lakers or Portland. So they are confident, and Ben Baker continues to miss.
Don't forget to stick around at the half. Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Derek Harper will be by. Nike halftime report. Everything you want to know about the playoffs tonight.
Well, I just don't understand why some of these guys that are making such big money will not over the summer go out and hire someone and come in and say, make me a better free throw shooter. It's amazing how bad some of these guys shoot free throws.
Shrimp, though, comes up with the loose ball. Sonics are going to have a chance here. Now Marbury gets it off. And it's a 3-point game at the half. George Karl up at the official Eddie F. Rush. But the Sonics go to the locker room with the lead. 46-43 at the half.
Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
It is halftime here in Minneapolis. They're still playing outside, and they're about to play again inside. Second half about to come your way. The Sonics leading by 3 over the Timberwolves. Let's take a look at some of the halftime numbers, and both teams shooting the ball pretty well.
Yes, they are. You see the shooting percentages. Real key is the rebound total. Just simply because Seattle, when they rebound the basketball, they have a much better chance of winning the game. But I still do not understand some of the things they're going through. The shot selection has been a problem. Also look over, I see Garnett with 4 shots, Marbury with 5. It's going to be tough for the Sonics in the second half.
If I am the Timberwolves, I'm feeling pretty good within 3 right here.
Well, exactly, because as I say, 5 shots for Garnett. He's made 4 of them, so give him that. But just 4 shots for Stephon Marbury. Both of those guys are second half players. So Seattle's got their work cut out for them.
Big first quarter by Hersey Hawkins, and the Sonics had themselves a 12-point lead. That all but disappeared. Sonics came alive in the final 4 or 5 possessions of that first half, and we're underway here in the second. Porter looks inside immediately at Garnett. Garnett kicks it. Marbury leaves it for Mitchell in the corner. Sam off the side of the glass. Garnett unable to hold it, but it's tipped out of bounds by Baker. And with 3 seconds on the shot clock, it'll be Minnesota ball.
And that's another thing. Mitchell had been so consistent offensively the last couple of ball games. He's 1 of 5 from the field here.
Stephon gets himself a pretty good look. Won't stay down for him, and Baker comes away with another rebound.
And Mitchell's not going to tell you, but his hamstring is killing him. He's not going to talk about it because he doesn't want to make excuses. But he's barely able to run up and down the floor at times.
9 rebounds for Vin Baker in the game. Hawkins wasn't really ready for that pass. It almost came to us. Shrimp. Detlef opens the second half like he began the first. He's got 8, and the lead is back to 5.
Seattle's a third quarter team. They'll try again to knock them out.
Mitchell again makes that one.
He had some real good follow through on that one. Got his feet set and shot that one like he wanted it.
4 points for Sam. Payton brings it back in a hurry and banks it home.
Now that's something they haven't been able to deal with much here tonight. When Gary Payton has been able to penetrate, Sonics have looked pretty good.
Payton's got 10 points. The lead is 6. with the dribble. The left hand that goes down.
Well, as long as they can continue to keep the floor spread like that, they'll be able to penetrate to the basket. Take away the double teams from Seattle.
Once again, Terry Porter has responded to the call here tonight. He's got 11. He and Peeler leading the way right now for the Wolves. But the second half in the past has belonged mostly to Marbury and Garnett as the game wears on.
Don't know for sure why you had.
That was a horrible offensive possession.
Yeah, I don't know why Vin Baker was out there at the three-point line. Hersey Hawkins been making them. Vin got in the way that time.
Anthony Peeler. And the foul is going to be on Jerome Kersey from behind.
Watch Porter, and then look at where the other Seattle defensive players are. Vin Baker's right under the basket. Nothing he can do there. But because of the spacing, the double team out high can't come. And Porter gets two.
Marbury unable to shake Hawkins, but he keeps the dribble alive. Now gives it up to Mitchell. Kersey's on him. Sam, there's no double team. Mitchell takes him in the lane. Mitchell will get to the line. Third foul on Jerome Kersey. Let's check in for the first time second half with Mark Zuma.
Michael, defends the concern of Flip Saunders. He said that trap that's been so effective, particularly in games 2 and 3, not nearly as effective in the first half. That's why Seattle was getting so many open looks, particularly early. Also rebounding. His club out-rebounded 20-12 at halftime, the 12, a season and playoff low.
The visiting team in each game has won the battle of the boards. The game Minnesota lost big. The first game of this series, they did win the boards. They won the boards in the second game. They won that one, and then Seattle won the boards in game 3, and they lost that ball game.
Mitchell makes them both. 1-point game at 50-49. And the Timberwolves now extend their pressure full court.
One thing that has happened since that first period, Minnesota has taken Hersey Hawkins out of the game. Remember, he got out high at 16 early. That's just 17.
One of the things that George Powell complained about earlier today, Payton lays it down nicely to Shrem. A better pass to Baker for 2 was just what we saw effectively down there. He didn't think his team was passing well, Joe.
When you talk about your shooters, the one thing they must have is the ball in shooting position. If you throw it too low, if you throw it too high, by the time they adjust to get the shot off, it's too late.
Porter, 3 nice fakes, and no call.
Porter initiated the contact, and I understand why the whistle didn't blow that time, because Vin Baker did jump straight up in the air. Porter wanted the whistle. Now watch here. I mean, you can't put all the pressure on the defense. So watch Vin. He's up in the air. Porter jumped in. So the official kind of let him off the hook by not calling an offensive foul. And that's a good no call right there.
But it ended up in Kevin Garnett picking up his 3rd foul, and that pass tipped out of bounds by Mitchell. 14 seconds on the shot clock for Seattle. They've got the ball and a 3-point lead. Jack, this is one of these games so far. If you didn't have a scoreboard, you'd guess Seattle was up maybe, what, 10, 12 points?
Well, the thing is they are shooting the ball so well from the field, and then they have out-rebounded Minnesota very badly in this game. And that is why Minnesota has hope. They're not getting much from their 2 stars.
Stephon Marbury with a quick move with the dribble, and the foul is going to be called off the ball on Gary Payton, and Terry Porter talking to him. Second foul on Payton.
Payton normally gets away with that action away from the basketball. He feels if he's not affecting the play, so what if he punches someone? You shouldn't blow the whistle.
Interesting philosophy.
He got caught that time. But that's Gary Payton's way of thinking, though. He's always trying to get an advantage.
And the foul will be on Detlef Schrempf this time. Detlef picking up his first.
Tell you what, this has really turned into a one-on-one individual kind of offensive game for Minnesota. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of passing right now.
Peeler comes to the ball. Payton is on him. Marbury backdoor on the baseline. Leaves it for Garnett. Nice. Line drive jumper wouldn't stay, but the loose ball right to Mitchell. Misses the shot.
A still like Hersey Hawkins giving them something else. So normally not a big-time rebounder, but he's not getting points right now, so he's doing other things.
Payton gets it off the glass, but unsuccessfully. Marbury in transition. Steps on offensive foul on Marbury.
Take it away. Second time tonight he's been called with that, and both times they were the proper call. Now you think about Minnesota turning the basketball over in this game. There's another push-off. You see it right there clearly. You think about how they're turning the ball over. You think about the points that are coming off of the turnovers. And there's another foul, not very smart. And I think right now Gary Payton is getting the better of the people he's matched up with.
And Payton and Peeler now having words at half court. Baker and Porter also exchanging words. There's a lot of woofing going on out there right now. And Payton is having words with Jerome Kersey.
Well, I think Jerome doing the proper thing. And Jerome's letting him, he said, I'll listen to you, man.
Technical foul just got called on Payton, I believe.
Just scream at me. He said, don't scream at anyone else. He said, I won't ring you up with a technical foul, but somebody else will. Now watch right here. Look at this little brush. And Gary just kind of laughs, and then the push off there. That's not where the technical foul came in. The technical foul came in if there was a technical foul.
I think there was. I saw it.
I don't see any free throw being taken, so evidently not.
I was sure Billy Oakes gave the symbol for the two. Payton rattles home the free throw, then looks at the crowd.
Well, there are no free throws coming, no free throw, technical free throw coming, so it must not have been. You saw that look at George Karl right there, and that's the most animated I've seen him on the sideline. I think he likes it that his team is getting tough, that his team is responding and answering back.
He's got to like the scoreboard. 7:37 to go in the third. The Sonics have opened up a 7-point lead.
Last Friday.
Playoffs on TBS, brought to you by Dutch Boy Paints. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy. And by GMC, putting you comfortably in command.
Here's a look at the first-round best-of-5 series. Chicago has advanced. Charlotte leading 2-1, but the Hawks certainly played well in the last game. Pacers shut out the Cavs tonight, and New York and Miami tied. It will be interesting to see who plays and who doesn't in the Game 5 of that series. Garnett banks home a turnaround.
You have to get him going. He's had just 5 shots in the game before that shot. He's made 4. Now 5 of the 6 he's taken. He has to be a factor here in the second half. Seattle starting the game in here in the second period, just as they started the first. 5 of 7 in the first period, 4 of 6 in the third here.
Hawkins, they send it to Kersey in the corner. Jerome back rims it. Peeler, who has done such a great job rebounding for the Timberwolves in this series, gets it to Marbury. Stephon, the runner. No. Here comes Payton on the break. Peeler back defensively. They bump. Payton gets 2.
He is so good in transition. He is so good at keeping the ball under control, using his body to shield off the defense, and then finishing.
The lead at 7. That's where the Sonics have had it here for most of the third, nearly halfway through.
Now the last 3 minutes of this third period, and really every period, has been the period for Minnesota.
Oh, Anthony Peeler keeps coming up with big plays. A 3 there.
You just can't say enough about the spacing, how much a factor that has been. Seattle has to cover so much distance to get to the perimeter shooters.
Payton looking to post up Marbury. The double team comes. They find Hawkins. Misses that one. Garnett up there big for the rebound. The foul will go on Kersey, who was hitting the boards.
It has been a long time since Hersey Hawkins had taken a shot. Now watch Payton right here. Look how he uses his body. Not a whole lot Peeler can do on that one.
That foul on Jerome Kersey was his 4th.
It has been trouble for Seattle to go to their bench.
Sonics are over the limit, so we'll shoot free throws up the other end. Kevin Garnett getting his first shot at the line tonight. 74% free throw shooter during the regular season. Tomorrow night on TNT Sports. It's a doubleheader. The Atlanta Hawks will host the Charlotte Hornets. Game 4 of that series, followed by the Jazz and the Rockets. Coverage begins 7 Eastern tomorrow night on TNT. Garnett makes them both. He's got a dozen. Well, it's back to a 2-point game.
It's real nice when your go-to guy can step up at the line and knock those free throws down.
Schrempf and Garnett bumped each other all the way up the court. This is really getting testy here, but for the Sonics, this season is on the line. Out to Schrempf, finds Hawkins. Had Baker, decided to take it in the lane himself. Back to Schrempf, 2 in the shot clock. Detlef, no, 24-second violation.
I just don't know if you can play any better defense than we saw in that sequence by Minnesota. I'm not talking necessarily about the block. I'm talking about deflected passes, which use up time on the shot clock, and then you force the violation. They must have deflected 4 passes in that one set.
Here's Porter, swings it to Peeler. Garnett backing his way in, will take it and make it. We are tied at 58, and they're alive and well at the Target Center.
The 1990
in Atlanta, the story of the night in the NBA. In the course of the 90-85 Miami win, or New York win over Miami, closing seconds, Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson exchange punches that don't land. Both of those guys, no doubt, will be suspended. Here's Pat Riley.
1.4 seconds to go. I can't believe both guys would do that. That's all. I mean, it was, you know, we did what we had to do. We came up and we got a split. We got back into the series after losing in Miami, and reminds me of last year.
Sad to say. Game 5 will be Sunday in Miami. Complete coverage on Inside the NBA later on TNT. Back to Target Center.
And it is a loud Target Center. We are tied at 58 under 5 minutes to go in the third. Schrempf. This place is rocking.
Seattle had done such a good job of taking the crowd out of the game, and now it's over as far as that is concerned.
The T-Wolves a chance for the lead. Peeler
and Marbury now will take over this ball game. Excuse me, Marbury and Garnett, I should say, will take over this game.
Down to 8 on the shot clock. Garnett kicks it. Peeler. Oh, Anthony Peeler for 3.
Oh boy. What a pass out of the double team by Kevin Garnett.
Gary Payton brings the ball up with a smile on his face.
Yeah, I'm wondering who he's trying to send a message to.
Stripped on the baseline by Marbury, but it'll still be Seattle ball. But they're down to 10 on the shot clock, Jack.
I mean, is he sending the message to this crowd that you guys are not affecting me? Is he sending the message to the guy guarding him, Stephon Marbury? Or really is that smile a sign of concern for Gary Payton? And he's trying to convince himself that it's not over.
Sam Mitchell into the game with Porter, Peeler, Marbury, and Hammonds now as Garnett gets a rest on the bench. Perkins, Hawkins, Baker, Schrempf, and Payton. And Terry Porter's going to be called for that foul off the ball.
I'll tell you one thing right now. With Sam Perkins back in the game, he is simply going to have to give Seattle something. And that's the same true when Dell Ellis comes off the bench. And I'm thinking back to game 2 when neither of those guys played in the second half. They complained coming out of the locker room.
Hawkins in traffic, and they call an offensive foul on Hawkins.
Anthony Peeler nails the three-point play. And one thing about officials, they will blow the whistle in favor of the team that has the momentum, the team that is the most aggressive team. And right now it's Minnesota.
Marbury gets a screen, comes up shooting. Back rims it, rebound, controlled by Peeler.
How many times has he done that? Long shots, long rebounds. And for the most part in this series, the Minnesota guards have chased those down.
Baker jumps out. They find Porter. 10 on the shot clock. Porter pulls up. Bullet pass picked off by Payton. Payton fouled by Marbury outside.
Smart play.
It was indeed, because they had a foul to lose.
Smart play, and Porter trying to do a little bit too much. One pass too many, and he understands that. He's been around long enough to know that one should have been directed towards the basket.
Hawkins and Baker go to the Sonic bench as Ellis and McMillan are back in, and Michael Williams checks in for the Timberwolves.
Now here's that second unit for Seattle that has had a hard time clicking offensively.
Seattle 2 points off their bench tonight, Jeff. Payton all the way.
Boy, that was a hook by Gary Payton if there ever was one.
That was as if there were no officials on the court. 61-60. Minnesota the ball and the lead. They find Peeler. Hammonds. 7 on the shot clock. Hammonds to the basket. Wild shot is picked off by Shrimp, and the Sonics have a chance to go back on top.
Not exactly the shot you want Hammonds taking, that's for sure.
Perkins looking inside.
And you see him trying to take advantage of Gatliff in that matchup down low with Mitchell.
Great pass by Shrimp, and then Payton missed the bunny.
Give Peeler a lot of credit. Payton didn't just miss it. Peeler forced him to miss it.
Williams, quick little move with the dribble. Leans in. He doesn't get caught.
2 real bad shots. Yep. The last 2 possessions for Minnesota. Haven't been able to say that tonight.
Shrimp comes up firing and knocks it down.
Well, it's funny how good teams take advantage of it every opportunity they get.
Seattle by 1, under 2 minutes to go here in the third.
In that fourth period in game 3, it was, and that's another bad shot. And let's see if they score. I mean, that's what they've been able to do, Seattle.
They want to post up Payton. He skips it to McMillan. They find Perkins. Plenty of time, and he made that one.
They make you pay. See, in game 3, it was Seattle making the kind of mistakes, the bad shots, the turnovers that you see Minnesota making right now. And Minnesota took advantage of it. So big steps for Minnesota in that game.
7-0 Seattle run to put them back up 65-61.
You needed that from Perkins. That was huge.
Mitchell throws it up. Hammonds is there on the offensive glass, and Payton has picked up his third.
It's a big call right there. And that's one George Karl should be able to argue. He should be able to work the officials on that one, because his superstar is not supposed to pick up that foul, at least in his mind.
So Tom Hammonds, who had the inside spot, will get a couple at the line with 1:02 left to go here in the third. Hammonds with 4 points on the night. Makes it 5. Coming up after the game, Clint Eastwood stars as a former bounty hunter and all-around tough guy in Joe Kidd. That's coming up next here on the Superstation. Hammonds makes some room. 65-63. The lead was 3. The Sonics had it at the half. Now it's 2. Final minute of the third.
Well, let's see what shot Seattle gets right here.
Payton kicks it. Shrimp, nice fake. Takes it.
It's a tough shot under pressure. Good job
there for the rebound.
Good job, Minnesota, adjusting defensively to make that shot tougher than it originally was going to be.
Timberwolves should get 2 possessions here down the stretch. Peeler kicks it out. Porter to the basket. Nobody home. Throws it out to Mitchell.
So they'll be lucky now to get a shot off.
Yes, they will, and they don't. Perkins comes up with the steal. Perkins into the forecourt. He's got Ellis with him. Sam keeps going. Crowd wanted an offensive foul as Williams tried to give up the body.
Now, they wanted the offensive foul. George Karl wanted the defensive foul. Neither one get it.
Big possession here. And the T-Wolves cut into the 4-point lead. Williams, nothing doing.
Well, this second unit for Minnesota now, the unit that has really hurt him here.
0.6 of a second. That was the 14th Timberwolves turnover of the night. Perkins, and popped by Porter on the other end, and it'll be a 4-point game as we head for the fourth. The crowd's on the officials. We've got 12 minutes to play here in Minneapolis.
In a G.
Basketball Vice President Kevin McHale is a native of Minnesota. He went to the University of Minnesota. He helped to build much of what we see here tonight. How does this success, this wonderful success, compare in part to some of your success as a player with the Boston Celtics?
Oh, it's completely different. As a player, you're relaxed. You're out there playing. You're having fun. Here, it's nerve-wracking. I can't stand sitting up here.
Now let's get back to Mike and Jack.
All right, we've been watching Kevin. He's right now field of vision on the other side. And he really is playing that game in a small area, as I mentioned the other night.
Dale Ellis throws up that shot, and tell you what, it's been a barrage of ill-advised shots by both teams.
Marbury into the lane. Garnett, the offensive rebound won't stay down. And then Marbury with the strip underneath, and it went off Perkins.
At the end of that period, Minnesota took 5 shots. They missed 5 straight shots, and I don't think either one of those shots would have been the shot Flip Saunders wanted his team to take. So they have to get back under control here and be more patient on offense.
Mitchell, they get it to Williams. Williams into the paint. Little lean by Williams goes.
And that's better there as he puts the ball on the floor. But you think about it now, they have been penetrating, kicking back out to Peeler.
Payton all the way. Yes! And he'll get to the free throw line.
Gary Payton has, it seems, 6 times tonight, as one of the Minnesota players has made a basket, he's gotten it in and pushed it right back down their throat. Do not give them a chance to get back and set up defensively.
Filling up that stat line tonight, 19 now. 5-point game. Payton has hit 7 of his last 9 field goals after going to 1 for his first 6.
He also has 7 assists in this game, which is really important. Getting other people involved and keeping them involved.
Mitchell has got Perkins on him.
Another one of those ugly shots that you just have to wonder where they're coming from. I mean, this is not the game we've seen from Minnesota in the last 2 ball games.
McMillan takes it and makes it.
And Flip Saunders, he is upset, and he should be upset.
That was a 2 by McMillan. The lead is back up to 7. 10 minutes, 30 seconds to go at the Target Center.
Well, a chance to look at some of these turnovers. You combine the turnovers with the bad shots we've seen out of Minnesota the last 5 minutes, let's say, and you understand why they're having trouble scoring points. Seattle with a 20-6 advantage in points off of those turnovers, and Minnesota has already committed 14 turnovers on this game. Seattle with 12.
It is Peeler, Williams, Mitchell, Garnett, and Marbury for the T-Wolves. Perkins, Ellis, McMillan, Baker, and Payton. And there's another turnover. And after the Portland-LA game on TNT, you can catch up on the Miami-New York game inside the NBA with Rich Cellini. He will catch you up on that wild scene at Madison Square Garden earlier tonight.
That matchup between Payton and Williams is really heating up, and you might see a double foul if that continues.
Ellis rims out a 3. They're just not staying down for the NBA's best 3-point shooter.
And he's still not extending all that well on that jump shot.
Marbury leaves it for Garnett. Garnett swallowed up, gets it back, kicks it. Peeler blocked by Payton. Peeler got it back though and rolled it in.
What about that second effort? What about the confidence Peeler is showing in his offense?
19 for Peeler. Some pressure here from the T-Wolves. Perkins, the double comes from Williams. They skip it to Payton. They find Ellis inside Baker. Hits the follower.
The mismatch, and they took advantage of it. Seattle did. Good ball movement there. Sharp emphasis, and they are playing with as much confidence right now as we've seen in a long time.
Peeler spins in the lane, blocked by Baker. Mitchell can't hook it home, and Baker is there to clear it.
I am just waiting to see them give Marbury the basketball and spread out again as they had been, and let Marbury create off of the dribble for someone on the perimeter.
Payton looking inside at Baker. The double comes back to Payton. A deep three. Gary Payton knocks it home.
I mean, I'm trying to remember the last time Kevin Garnett had the ball on the low post and got himself a high percentage shot.
A 10-point Seattle lead.
Now there's the penetration I'm talking about. That's what you need. He doesn't get the shot, but the defense is so off balance, they're going to get to the boards, or someone's going to get an open shot.
Sam Mitchell hitting the offensive glass. The Sonics right now, though, a confident offensive team, despite that little move by Vin Baker in that court. Here's Payton to the basket, kicks it out to McMillan. They find Perkins. Williams is there.
Seattle loves that three-point line. I mean, when it's going, it's good. If it's not good, but they don't stop shooting.
Marbury looking for his buddy Garnett.
He needs it. He needs some touches right now.
Turns on Baker. They clear it out for him. Garnett takes him into the lane. Gets the roll.
And that's very simple. I mean, that's one thing Minnesota has been. They have simplified the game. Give it to the guys that can score in positions they want it.
Ellis once again.
Make one. He has to make one. I mean, he has to make one. So you better get out and play him.
How long do you think he hesitated when he caught that? Like a tenth of a second, maybe?
That's right, because he knows he can make those shots.
Marbury, nice move. Short, very short. Very short is right. Loose picked off by Ellis. 9 points and the ball. On the break. Oh, Peeler with the great anticipation. Gets it to Garnett. Ahead Mitchell, the jumper. Got it.
You know, one thing about defenses, one thing you want is to try to channel the ball to guys you want to handle it. You take it away from Payton, you give it to Perkins, and you have a much better chance of forcing a turnover. And that's what Minnesota did.
Payton leaves it for McMillan. Rimmed out, Garnett the rebound. Timberwolves looking to make another run after being down 11.
Well, these fourth periods have been tough for Seattle. The later it gets, the tougher it is for them to finish up close games.
Marbury back rims the jumper. Rebound.
Smart play.
Payton's going to win the race to the
on the
ball.
line.
And Williams with the bump. We're going to get a timeout. 6:11 to go in the game here. Don't go away. Well, let's take a look at tonight's Dutch boy in the paint.
Now you see the rebound total, it has tightened up some, but the Sonics leading by 3 in points in the paint, well in favor of the Sonics, really because Kevin Garnett has not gotten a lot of touches of the basketball in the painted area. So it's been a real nice mix of inside-outside game for Seattle.
Just over 6 minutes to go here in the fourth. The Sonics have Schrempf, Ellis, Payton, Baker, and Hawkins on the floor. The Timberwolves counter with Porter, Mitchell, Garnett, Marbury, and Peeler. There goes Payton to the basket again.
He is so good at keeping that dribble alive. And now Flip Saunders is seeing some of his own stuff right now because Seattle has spread the floor. At least they did on that possession. And no help defense.
24 points for Gary Payton in the game. He's averaging 26 in the series. And possessions now start to become critical, even though we've got 5 and change to go. There's Baker picking up kind of a silly foul.
Well, you know what? Gary Payton takes the ball to the basket right here. And he gets this one in. Does a good job once again shielding his body. But that matchup between Garnett and Vin Baker, it's going to get even hotter because you know Garnett has to start touching the basketball more.
Mitchell was open in the paint and wanted the ball. They couldn't get it to him. Porter takes it to the basket. Too hard off the glass. Rebound tip. Garnett's got it. Throws it up. Tip won't go. Mitchell keeps it alive. Baker slaps it away.
The true colors starting to come out for Seattle right now. They have disguised the fact that they're the worst rebounding team in the league very well tonight. But on that possession, it came out. Vin Baker makes a big-time block there.
Marbury in the paint. Stephon off the glass for two.
He was 1 of 11 before that shot. Now 2 of 12. There is some blood on the uniform of Kevin Garnett. So he's going to take a big, quick breather here. His finger might be bleeding. They'll work on it, get him back in the game.
Garnett wants back in a hurry. 82-75. 7 and the ball. That's what the Sonics have going right now. It down low. Shrimp has to give it up. Hawkins back rims a three, but Baker comes up with another rebound.
I think what we have seen here now with Seattle is some smart basketball play. They're finally starting to look like the veteran team here. They're running their offense. They are getting good looks at the basket, but they've done a good job of slowing this tempo down.
Detlef Shrimp long with the three. Doesn't get the bounce. It'll come back to... My partner's shaking his head here again.
I just don't understand. I know the three-point shot has been the shot that's brought you where they are, so you have to take it. But there have been so much better shots in these last 3 minutes for Seattle. And the only thing makes that a good shot is if it goes down.
Marbury leaves it for Porter. Porter into the paint, keeps on going and whacks. No layups with 4 minutes to go in this one.
And there should not be any layups on either end of the floor. But I like Terry Porter's response to that particular foul by Detlef. I mean, with all the talking that has been going on here in this period, particularly to the officials, Porter could have gotten up and really complained because he got pounded on that foot. But he goes about his business, and you would expect him to do all right on these 2 free throws.
He has been around. Don't forget tomorrow night, the Hornets and the Hawks game 4 will come your way on TNT at about 7 o'clock as Porter makes the first. And then Charles, Hakeem, Clyde and company trying to pull perhaps the upset of the first round as they take on the Jazz. Mark Zumoff, what you got?
Humor in the cauldron of the playoffs, Michael. Kevin Garnett changing his jersey because he had blood on it, and he was bare-chested running by some girls in the back hallway, said, "Y'all gonna see me naked, I gotta run."
You know, when you have a guy call you dog, you know, he shares all kind of secrets with you after you get past that point. Mark is on top of it. He and Garnett are partners for life.
The Target Center crowd is on their feet, and off the ball, Kevin Garnett picks up his 4th personal foul.
George Karl is saying to Minnesota, would you guys please just go away? I mean, just say, okay, we'll let you have this one, let's get back. But you know Flip Saunders and his guys are not going to let that happen.
13 foul on the Wolves. Sonics have committed 2. Garnett jumps out on Payton. Now Marbury gets him back. Sonics using a lot of time here. Time is their ally.
And that's a good thing.
Ellis, the catch.
He had to shoot that one quickly.
Baker, rejected by Hammonds, picked off by Garnett.
You're not going to get the goaltend on that, Ben Baker. You cannot complain about that when the ball was still in your hand.
Marbury, no. Hammonds keeps it alive. Porter with time. Garnett keeps it alive, but it's out of bounds.
Now, Ben Baker wanted the goaltend on that one, but that's not going to happen. I don't know if he was complaining about the no call. Might have thought he got fouled, but certainly it was not a goaltend. I like having the ball in Payton's hands right now. He's doing a great job of managing the clock.
Sonics look to take it under 3 minutes, up 5. Baker, outside Shrimp. Hawkins, they spin it. Ellis takes it to the basket for 2.
Now, see, that's smart, because he's not shooting the ball well from the outside. So why stay out there and continue to launch him up when they're not going? Get yourself a higher percentage shot. You might get the whistle also and get to the line.
Huge possession here for the Wolves. They get it to Garnett. Now Porter. Peeler thought about it. Payton's on. Peeler. Nice look for Hammonds.
Nice. No layups coming. It's playoff time. Now watch Dell Ellis as he spots up behind the line. You know he's going to take it, so you have to run at him. Garnett gets off balance, and Dell takes it on to the hole.
Sonics have got a 7-point lead with 2:35 still to play. Welcome back inside the Target Center, everyone. Let's check out tonight's Home Depot game summary.
You see the field goal percentage. Minnesota 40%. They're 6 of 21 in this period alone, 29%. Points off of those turnovers, an area where Minnesota wins night in and night out because they don't turn it over. 20-8 in favor of Seattle.
Mark Zuboff, you got it.
Mike, Minnesota assistant coach Randy Whitman telling the Minnesota Timberwolves that Detlef Schrempf has hit our guys twice going into the lane, hit him, and Flip Saunders is going to put Kevin Garnett now defensively on Vin Baker, who's got 12 rebounds.
All right, Mark, thanks very much. Don't forget, after the Portland-LA game on TNT, you can catch up on all the fallout from Miami and New York earlier. You can do that on Inside the NBA. Vince Cellini will be by. Join him and see what's going on.
Now for Minnesota, as they try to get back in this game, you look at the clock, there's 2:35. They must understand they don't have to get it all done on one single possession. We've talked a lot about the shot selection. That's part of the reason they're 6 for 21 in this period, but they have to be smart and take good shots.
A lot of people trying to get in the lane a little early there. I think that ball's important. 7 for Hammonds. 6 is the lead. The Sonics have it and the ball. We're approaching 2 to go. Payton backing his way down. Payton kicks it. Hawkins, Baker, the turnaround. Back rims it. Garnett's there.
You don't want to shoot the fall-away shot at this stage of the game. And Vin Baker's problems at the free throw line might be part of it, but he has to challenge at the hole.
Marbury gets it back. Hawkins, the good defense. Marbury keeps the dribble alive. Marbury to the basket, leaves it. Garnett missed it.
Big shot there. Big miss. And I think part of the problem for Kevin Garnett, he just hasn't had his allotment of shots tonight. I mean, you can see he's shooting it quick.
A huge miss for the youngster there. Payton looking for the dagger. No. Rebound loose, picked off by Porter. T-Wolves is still alive. Here comes Marbury. Minute and a half to go. Stephon to the basket. Offensive foul. Stephon Marbury.
See, now that's one of those times I'm talking about, trying to make everything happen on one possession. You just don't have to have it. And I think that's the playoff experience, the youth of this team, because you look at the guys that are kind of becoming a little rattled right now. And Garnett has missed a couple of chip shots, and now Stephon Marbury tries to overcreate off the dribble. So maybe that's a learning experience for them here tonight.
Let's take a look at that last play. The charge called here.
And you'll see him just too much dribbling. And really, these are the kinds of plays you would have expected Minnesota to make. But quite frankly, they have been the team with the most poise, particularly over the last couple of ball games down the stretch.
Payton did look like he was there. Stephon Marbury with 5 turnovers tonight. And now in a 2-possession game, you can still play defense here and not foul if you want to depend on the 3.
Yes, you can. You can play defense. You don't have to foul. You know your defense has been good, but everyone has to go to the board. You can't give Seattle an offensive rebound here.
Hawkins, Porter's on him. Baker and Garnett battle. Tipped, but Baker is able to control it. 5 on the shot clock. Now Baker picked off. Peeler stole it back. Hawkins tries to throw it inside. He didn't have time.
See, that's the kind of play we've been seeing out of Seattle down the stretch. You would think with all that experience, you're going to at least get a shot at the basket. Might not make it, but you'll get a shot.
Flip Saunders is still breathing. Don't go away. If you want. 6 6-point game, a minute 6 to go. Play coach for me, Jack. What are the T-Wolves going to do?
Well, I think you have to get the ball to Marbury. Number one, you have to make sure he touches it. He has been able to penetrate at times and kick out and get good shots. They went away from that for most of the second half. They have to find a way. Once again, there's still plenty of time, 106, but every possession now has to add to some points.
Get it deep to Peeler in the corner. Peeler has been the hot man. Porter's going to take it into the paint, goes all the way, and Porter's going to get to the line with a minute to go. Sam Perkins picks up that foul.
You know, it's a good thing to have some veterans on this ball club. George Gall is wondering about his and has wondered about him at times. But Terry Porter has really stepped up and played some big-time basketball with this team. And it's interesting because I asked Terry, I told him, I said, it's wonderful seeing you lead these young guys. It's really good to see you doing that here. He said, you know, the thing is, though, it would be nothing if I didn't have young guys that were willing to listen. A compliment to Garnett and to Marbury.
Don't forget to join Vince Cellini on Inside the NBA. It'll come your way after the Portland-LA game on TNT. You can get updated on everything surrounding that very controversial Miami-New York game. And what a shame that Terry Porter missed both free throws.
I never would have thought that would have happened. Well, what about the Knicks and the Heat? Hard to figure it out. I just don't understand it.
Here's Payton keeping the ball alive. Hawkins. And now the T-Wolves don't want to foul. They're down to 7 seconds. Payton and Porter gives that foul with 5 seconds on the clock.
Well, not another play that you would like to have back. And Porter saying, I thought I heard someone screaming foul coming from the bench. But you just don't want to foul in that situation. They had one to give, so that might be the bonus there.
Yeah, but they give the Sonics a fresh clock. Now they got to foul.
Now they have to foul.
And it'll be Peeler on Hawkins.
And the shot clock was running down. It was under 5 seconds on the clock when that prior foul occurred. So not a real good play. Indiana with the clincher. Cleveland, a young ball club. They will be better next year. Mike Fratello once again did a great job. And then once again, the Knicks and the Heat will face the same thing they faced last year. That final game, who's going to play, who's not going to play.
Who's going to play and who's not. Hersey Hawkins, that's just his second point since the first quarter, but he got the Sonics off to the start that they needed here tonight. And now it's a 7-point game, and it looks like for at least a day or so, the ghosts of playoffs past will be silenced in and around the Seattle area.
You're right. You're right.
Look at timeout. 86-78. Looks like we're going to have game 5 on Saturday.
National Geographic Explorer, Sunday nights, 7 Eastern, only on the Super.
7 seconds left to play in this one, and Seattle about to force a game 5 in this series. Down the stretch, the last 4:31 to be precise, the Timberwolves have not scored a field goal.
A lot of those shots taken quickly turned into bad shots.
Garnett, there it is, that little drop as he rattles that home at 86-80. Still a 2-possession game. Immediate foul given on Hersey Hawkins, and the Sonic veterans are going to have to be true at the line.
Well, you feel good about having Hersey Hawkins there. One thing I'm really surprised about, a lot of fans have gotten up and left this building. I mean, if there was ever a team that deserves a standing ovation from your fans, it is this Minnesota team with what they've been able to do to extend this series and put the pressure on the Sonics. They may not come back here and play this year, so you want to let them know you appreciate what they've done.
Hawkins all net on the first. Hawkins and Payton have combined for 45 points here tonight.
And now you do have to start looking at the three-point line. You want to give Marbury some penetration. But he pulls up and lets him go from 3. Hawkins handles it again. He needs to hold on to it. because he is the guy the Sonics want on the line.
Hawkins, an 87% free throw shooter during the year.
Well, year in and year out, he's one of the best in the business from the free throw line. So, you know, you look for Seattle to make veteran plays. You look for Seattle to make smart plays. And getting the ball to your shooters from the free throw line, that's a smart play. A lot of guys over there on the bench contributing. And finally, they are able to breathe a sigh of relief over there because the pressure has been hot and heavy the last 48 hours or so.
Yes, it has.
And I guess if you're going to put yourself in the situation where you're down in the first round all the time, you have to try to find positives in that. And for Seattle, it's a positive that they could say, hey, we've been there before. Whether we want to have been there or not, we've been there. So let's go out and win it. We've done it.
They are so up and down, though. Saturday is no guarantee. This one's being played at home as Marbury goes to the hoop, draws a foul, and gets the basket.
What about that? What about that? And, you know, George Karl and his staff is looking at the official. But I would be looking at Sam Perkins myself because Sam should know better. And I think by looking at that, you see Sam was in pretty decent position, and the whistle probably should not have been sounded. But why put yourself in that situation? A miss here and a rebound and a three-point shot. And we're talking about two-point game. Hawk has to get open again.
And he does pretty easily, and Mitchell this time gives the foul. 11.6 on the clock.
I mean, this is a 4-point ball game.
You know, they're not out of the woods yet.
They really are not.
They can see the daylight, but there's still some trees around them.
Yeah, but you know, you shouldn't, when you're Seattle, foul and give them a chance to make points with the clock stopped. They're still playing hard. I mean, every possession is still big.
Well, football play there by Devlin Shrimp. Here's the miss the Timberwolves fans were looking for. Last year, of course, it was a Rex Chapman 3 that forced the overtime against Phoenix. Will we see some sort of repeat of that?
And one thing about the NBA, it ain't over till it's over.
It's the second one to roll in, and the Timberwolves use a timeout as Flip Saunders is going to play all his cards here. 5-point game, 11.6 on the clock.
The NBA playoffs on TBS, brought to you by Keystone Light, America's never bitter beer. By the new Dodge. From cars to minivans to trucks, it's about change. The new Dodge. By your local AutoZone stores. For the right parts at the right price, look no further than AutoZone. And by Nike.
Back in Minneapolis with 11 seconds to go. Lots of NBA playoff action to come tomorrow night. The Hornets and the Hawks at 7. The Jazz and the Rockets will come your way at 9:30. And once we're through here, jump over to the other side on TNT, and you can pick up Portland and LA. And then right after that, Vince Cellini will be by with Inside the NBA and catch you up on everything that was going on earlier tonight in Madison Square Garden, where a heavyweight fight broke out at the end of the game between Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. But let's see what the T-Wolves can do here. They go inside to Garnett. Garnett takes it to the basket, gets a quick two. It's a three-point game.
And they are now face guarding Percy Hawkins.
And a quick foul is given on Greg Anthony. And you know, Jack, that clock is not going to move too fast.
It's not going to move. And in this building, it shouldn't. They should hold on to that. Keep that finger on that switch just a little bit longer before you flip it in the on position. As you, well, look at Greg Anthony going to the line. He shot 66%. So surprised the crowd left. A lot of folks coming back in because this game is not over. But I was really surprised as many people started to leave as they did about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, this is a three-point game, folks.
The one thing is Minnesota is out of timeouts. No timeouts left.
Makes the second. Two-possession game. Yep. Marbury flying into the forecourt. Marbury gets some contact. Back rims it. Rebound. Payton. And the Sonics dodge the bullet here in Minneapolis. It has been a long 48 hours for George Karl and company, but Seattle was able to deliver. Mark Zumoff, you got it.
Gary Payton, you told us before the game you knew you were going to win this one. How did you know?
Well, we knew what kind of ball club we are. We're a veteran team. We come in here and we suck it up. We've been in the situations last year, year before that. We know what we can do. They was all hyped up and doing their thing. Now they got to come back to Seattle.
Are you asking yourselves, how did you allow yourselves to get into this situation in the first place?
I don't care about what happened in the past. What's happening now? We don't care about what happened. It happened. Now we in game 5 on Saturday, and that's all I feel good about.
Hersey Hawkins set an early tone for you, and you got something from your bench tonight as well.
Well, that's good. We were supposed to do that. The last 2 games, we didn't get nothing. We wasn't shooting. We wasn't like a team. Tonight, we came out and played with our backs to the wall, and we did a good job.
Last year, same scenario. You're down in Phoenix, 2 games to 1. You came back to win. Any reason to think you can't do that with a Game 5 coming up this weekend in Seattle?
We feel good at our place. We're going home. We think we can do it. I mean, we're going to go out and just play, and the good thing's going to happen for us. If we go out and play like we did today, we have no problems.
Did you feel you had to take the game over scoring-wise in the second half?
Well, you know, they let me do what I wanted to do. I came out picking rolls. It was good for myself. I did a good job of just keeping going to the basket, making shots, and I just thought that I had to be more aggressive.
Thanks, Gary. Gary Payton, an assist man in the first half, a scorer in the second half. Mike and Jack, you got it.
All right, Mark, thanks very much. And the final score again, 92-88 here. The Sonics winning by 4. There will be a Game 5 on Saturday. For Jack Gibbons, I'm Mike Gorman. Let's go back to the studio. Ernie, Kenny, and Derek, you got it.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. We are back here in our Atlanta studio. Meantime, right now on TNT, the Lakers and the Blazers about to go to the third period. The Lakers with a 16-point lead trying to close out the Blazers as they play at the Rose Garden. The story of the night, though, the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks in a wild brawl at the end of that game. They're going to go to Game 5, but they're going to be missing Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson, who with just a couple of ticks left start getting into it, and suddenly fists are flying, which means automatic suspension. And it just got wild out there.
Mayhem broke loose in New York. This is probably the worst thing that could have happened in this game.
That, by the way, is Jeff Van Gundy being pulled out of the pile by Charles Oakley.
See, here it is again. You know, this physical play is playoff basketball, but you don't expect this. I'm not even sure who started it, Derek.
It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant who started this. This is, especially after what happened last year, this is just, there's no place for it in the game.
Makes it absolutely amazing when you consider that the outcome of last year's series in the Eastern Conference semis was decided because of suspensions resulting from a brawl. The benches really didn't clear on this one like they did last year, but certainly the main combatants, Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, throwing punches, and no doubt will be suspended. The Knicks win it 90-85, setting up Game 5 in Miami on Sunday, but everybody's talking about the brawl. Here are the coaches.
What Zoe and Larry did, I think it goes back further than just here. I think there's a lot of depth to that relationship that's not good, from what I understand.
You play hard and you're competitive and you compete and it's a great game, and then it's marred.
1.4 seconds to go. I can't believe both guys would do that. That's all. I mean, it was, you know, we did what we had to do. We came up and we got a split. We got back into the series after losing in Miami, and reminds me of last year.
Now, after the game, Alonzo Mourning did say, I made a big mistake. I let my teammates down. He said he and LJ have been going at it all night long. He said after a while, you've got to take a stand. LJ crossed the line at the end. He threw the last cheap shot, and enough was enough. But still, aren't lessons learned from a playoff experience of a year ago, guys?
Obviously not, because it happened again tonight. And again, it's a very unfortunate incident. But when something like this happens, it's just something that you hate to see.
I know I saw Pat Riley after the game. A reporter had asked him about how could this happen and about emotion. He said, well, you ever played the game? And I know emotions do get high. But, Kenny.
Well, you have to use some kind of sense of common sense. You know that last year you won the series, basically, if you're Miami, because Patrick Ewing and the rest of the Knicks got thrown out for a game or two. Now, this year, you say, I'm going to just give it back to you. I'm going to have Alonzo Mourning, one of my best players, out and come back. You really have to have better judgment.
Happens with 1.4 seconds to play in a game already decided. Now, meantime, you look at Miami and you think they go into this game on Sunday without Alonzo Mourning, who will be suspended. Boy, you used to have Ike Austin on that roster, and before the playoffs began, Ike Austin was asked, how is Miami going to do without you in there? He said, I don't think they're going to come out of the East. That's a point he reiterated when he was here in the studio earlier in the playoffs. You know, I think we could probably have time to get into that, but I know you already said Miami's going to struggle because you're not there.
Well, I think it's, you know, they lose a lot. They don't have the inside coming off the bench. I think I gave them a lot of energy, played well for them, and I just feel that right now playing Zoe and PJ for 40-something minutes is not going to let them get to the Eastern Conference.
So who gets an edge here in Game 5 in Miami on Sunday?
Miami will miss Alonzo Mourning, but I think they're going to miss him more on the defensive end than they will on the offensive end. When he scored big for them, they've lost those games. So they're going to miss his rebounding and his defense.
I'm going to go with New York. You come in, a great win. You have a great deal of emotion. Now, all of a sudden, Alonzo Mourning's out. You're sky high. You can't lose this game.
No, we just had wire reports earlier on what Zoe had to say after the game. We have just had fed in here to us some comments from Alonzo Mourning. Let's hear those.
The whole game was a lot of cheap shots being thrown. The whole game, you know, and after a while, you got to take a stand, and LJ crossed the line at the end. He crossed the line, you know, and he threw the last cheap shot, and I think he threw like an elbow or something like that, and I got hit in the face twice during the game, and enough was enough. You know, I just had to make a stand. I mean, after a while, you just can't let but so much stuff go. You can bite your tongue, you know, and you can hold yourself back, but enough is enough.
You buy it, guys? I mean, I know, Derek, it's emotional out there, but 1.4 seconds to go. Can you walk away from a situation like that?
You have to walk away. And in a situation like this, with what's at stake here, I think you definitely have to find a way to restrain yourself from a situation like this.
So, yeah, like you said, enough is enough, but 1.4 seconds. You can't wait 1.4 more seconds. I don't understand that one.
1.4 seconds is about all the time we have left here, too. Quickly, let us get to the other score of the night, and the Indiana Pacers breaking through into the Eastern Conference semifinals, beating the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, 80-74. Reggie Miller had 19, Rick Smits had 17, so the Pacers now wait for the winner of the Miami-New York series to see who they will play in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Tomorrow night on TNT, the Hawks and the Hornets, Atlanta home trying to stay alive and force a Game 5. The Jazz on the road trying to stay alive and force Game 5 as they play the Rockets at the Compaq Center. Inside the NBA, later tonight on TNT, after the Lakers and Blazers, PJ Carlesimo and Vince Cellini with the entire story of the brawl in New York tonight and what it means for Game 5 Sunday between the Knicks and the Heat. So for Kenny Smith and for Derek Harper, this is Ernie Johnson bidding you a good night from Atlanta.
The preceding has been a